Hello everyone and welcome to the Hobby Guard. In today's video I will be walking you through how to roleplay a Carcharodon Astra, a space shark in the game Space Marine 2. So I'll just go by very quickly in regards to what I use for cosmetics and why I use that, as well as a bit of their chapter lore and history, and their attitude, and how, if you want to roleplay one of these during operations or whatever, or solo play or stratagems or siege, whatever game mode that you play, if you want to get more into the character of a Carcharodon Astra, what you can do and how you can be expected to act. So yeah, I'm just quick turn here so you can see what cosmetics I am using, and in case you wanna emulate them, well, you can see them all here. You can pause the video and take a good look. Obviously I've been cosplaying them for a while, role playing I should say, in Space Marine 2, but ever since the newest release it's so much easier, right? So first of all, before I delve into why I chose the cosmetics that I chose, because mind you, I don't know if it's like incredibly lore accurate. It's more sort of my personal interpretations based off what I've read of them in regards to the Bada War, as well as the Carcharodon trilogy, which I'm about to finish the third book. And quick announcement, I will be making reviews for perhaps the entire trilogy, so perhaps they might already be out by the time I upload this video, so keep an eye out for that if you would like to know whether these books are for you or not, or at least my opinions of them. But anyways, Adeptus Astartes Carcharodons, and it reads: Mysterious prowlers of the outer dark. The Carcharodons are ever on the move, seeking out the Emperor's foes beyond the Imperium's borders. Sorry about that. Few have ever fought alongside them. Those who have report their unsettling savagery, their preference for rapid strikes using stealth or extreme speed, and their deadly skill in close quarters actions using a range of bayonets, blades, and chain weapons, and point blank weapons fire. And of course, this gives us a very brief description of the chapter, but we'll delve more into it as the video goes by, because I will also be playing, I forgot to say that, an operation. I don't know if I'll split this as usual in two different videos. I might, if I end up talking too much, which I tend to do. But yeah, let me just go very quickly before I talk about the attitude and like the characteristics of the personality of Carcharodon Astra. I'll just talk about the cosmetics. You can see here, obviously, my first 3-4 cosmetics are obviously from the Carcharodon DLC pack. So yeah, that's a no-brainer pretty much. Now for the jump pack, I went with my, where is it? This one here, which I earned by getting this class up to prestige level 4. I currently have it at prestige level 4 and level 7. So I like that one because it's not too adorned. The Carcharodons they aren't huge into like fancy adornments. You can see here, up in war gear, sorry, I was very hesitant to add anything really, so I just went with nothing, because they are not like representing the angelic version of the chapter. These are a very savage chapter. They are like predators prowling the void, again in the outer dark, right? So the idea is they are like in the darkest, most extreme borders of known space, just prowling. They're a fleet-based chapter, so we don't know too much about, I guess there's a lot of their story, but I don't have time enough to go into it right now. But basically, and this is relevant to what I'm gonna say next about the cosmetics, they got exiled. We don't know exactly when. People theorize that they got exiled even before the Horus Heresy, and that they were just a cell of the original Raven Guard Legion before they became the Raven Guard and Corvus Corax was integrated, their Primarch, and that they were just too violent for him and they got exiled to prowl basically the outer dark ever since. But regardless, we don't know. I have my own theory about that. Likely I will have already uploaded a video about it soon. But anyways, basically they are described in the lore as having sort of patchwork suits of armor, because they are not. They do not operate very close to the Imperium. They don't have this amazing support of logistics that other chapters will have. They will do deals here and there with the Adeptus Mechanicum, but that's pretty much it. They also have to do deals with like Renegade Space Marine chapters just to borrow some gene seed when they are in a tight spot, when they're running low on their own gene seed. Sorry, not gene seed, but rather like initiates, basically aspirants for their chapter. So yeah, that's another interesting detail. And they are described as having pre-heresy armor, sort of in the time period of the Unity of Terra armor. So basically, that's why that's not only why, there's a lot of lore pointing out to the fact that maybe not as a chapter, but the origins of this chapter, they were active during the Wars of Unity in Terra, which would take them all the way back to before the times of the heresy in the Warhammer timeline. And that's why I gave him this the Ultramarine champion gauntlet here, because the eagle, two-headed eagle with the lightning bolts, I don't remember if it was a two-headed eagle originally. I think it was only one-headed, but the whole lightning bolt theme is very reminds me a lot of that Unity era, and same with the Imperial Fist champion knee pad here. So I added the Raven Guard champion in the other greave, because I think these molecular binding studs, they match well with the ones here at the top, and again they are supposed to have sort of patchwork armor. But if you don't have access to the DLC, or just want to go with different armor, just basically pick something with a bunch of totems and stuff hanging from it. I guess that's from another DLC, but you might have access to other stuff. Before they released this DLC, I remember I was using what was I using to roleplay a Carcharodon? Which one is it? I can't seem to find it right now, but basically anything with like little bones and bone totems hanging from it will do. Maybe it's not available in this class. So yeah, they are a very tribal chapter. Obviously they have some, I believe, Maori, or sort of that Pacific tribal theme to them. And I think that's it for their cosmetics. That flame pattern at the bottom, I just added it because it looked sort of too lame without it. I guess it just brings out a bit of balance to the whole thing. And in my mind, that's just like some tribal sort of markings as well, right? Part of their tribal painting, like a tattoo. So, and yeah, for weapons, I'll be using the power axe for coolness factor. I use always fencing weapons. So yeah, they do love their heavy melee weapons. And in regards to how we are gonna be behaving, well, they are a very quiet chapter. That's the best way I can put it. They literally have it as part of their chapter doctrine to keep their emotions in check as much as possible, and to be as stoic as possible, and to show as little emotion as possible. And it is hinted that they have some sort of genetic flaw or curse that makes them extremely violent, and they get possessed by rage, and they are in constant danger of falling and giving in to this rage, which may hint, or may not hint, we don't know, to their Primarch, right? To their Primarch, to who they descend from, even though they just call him the Forgotten One. So it's a big mystery in the lore. Some people have their theories, but anyways. And the way they operate, just like predators, they act like predators, so they are very stealthy, they are very quiet, but once they engage, they are extremely brutal and uncompromising. They are a very logical chapter, and for example, in the lore, they commit horrible acts of they raid worlds for slaves, basically, and things like that, and they don't care too much about collateral damage, but they don't cause said collateral damage out of joy or anything. To them, it's just a calculated, cold decision, and if it serves their purpose and it serves their mission, and their duty, then they will carry it on without much regret, really. The idea again is that they are sharks and they take up after sharks, so we won't be shouting for the Emperor yet again. This is just one of those chapters that are just very hush hush. I think I realize now that in all my 3 last roleplay videos, what was it, the Exorcist, the Iron Hands, and then this one, they are all very hush hush, so maybe that's a theme. Unfortunately, it might not be the most interesting, but I like it. It makes up for interesting moments when your entire team is shouting for the Emperor and you just go confirm. I really like that. And I just realized I misplaced my hat. Where is my hat? Oh, it's all the way back there. It's too late for my hat. But anyways, these are the perks that I have active, basically the only ones that I have unlocked. And as you can see here, I'm prestige level 4, and you won't be able to see my prestige perks, but they're not too important for lore purposes. Again, the axe, ideally this would be a chain axe because they do like their chain axes. There's a very famous chain axe from the main character, or one of the main characters of the Carcharodon trilogy. I think it's called Reaper, and it is like a legendary chain axe that only the Reaper Prime gets to wield. Now, who is the Reaper Prime? That's a whole other lore subject that we might get into in a different video. But basically, if you don't care about the gameplay, maybe I will make 2 videos in this case. But yeah, also I forgot to say the helm pattern. I gave it like the white faceplate pattern, because like different colored, because I've seen in some official, I think I've seen in some official art, I think codex art, but certainly in a lot of art, that the Carcharodons do that. Not all of them. I think it's like the veterans or some certain higher ranking members of the chapter will do that, and I just think it looks sick. For whatever reason, it looks very fishy in a good way. It looks very oceanic. So yeah, I can't wait to dive into a mission and just behave like an absolute maniac, oceanic, silent predator, and the king of the abyss, so to speak. So yeah, let me know your opinion. What do you think about the cosmetics? What do you think about like my idea of how they are in the lore, how I understand them to be in the lore, and how they act? And have you come across any Carcharodon? Oops, connection lost. Of course, that's Space Marine 2 PC for you. Thank the Emperor, I did not start the gameplay just now. Because I hate getting disconnected from operations. But anyways, let me think about my interpretation of the Carcharodon Astra. Have you come across any other players, or are you one yourself? And do they have a certain attitude when you're playing with a Carcharodon Astra Space Marine? So yeah, let me know all of that in the comments down below. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching at Astra, and remember, there are no female custodies. Until the next one.